here for a lifetime underneath the moonlight. Cause I don't want us to go. No, I don't want us to go. Yeah, you could be my lifeline, you could be my sunshine. In a world so full of pain, can you make it go away? Used to be so sad that love was lost, but now it's here to stay. Yeah, I used to be uncomfortable, but look at me today. Never thought I'd find someone like you, someone to show the way. But now I know you're the answer to my prayer. You and me must be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something right. Baby, I believe in us. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. I'm sorry for the burden, sorry I was hurting, but my scars are almost healed. Yeah, my scars are almost healed. Yeah, I'm feeling like a child now. Everything's alright now, and it's all because of you. You made the flower in me bloom. Used to be afraid of everything, but now there's no more fear. Yeah, I used to let nobody in and hide my face with tears. Always thought of you as someone who can love someone like me, but I was wrong. Baby, now I believe. You and me must be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something right. Baby, I believe in us. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. You and me must be right. Something's in the air, I can feel it now. You and me must do something right. We can't get enough of us. You and me every night, aiming for the stars with the love so bright. You and me must do something right. Baby, I believe in us. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me, yeah. I believe in you and me, you and me, you and me,
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Danae Show. I am Danielle Danea, aka Danae, and I've got a lot to say. So let's get into it. The Supreme Court upholds Trump military ban on the transgender community. Let's talk about it. So this is pretty self-explanatory. I don't need to pull up an article explaining any further. Basically, the Supreme Court just allows Trump to implement this because they agree, and what's going to happen is that transgender people are no longer allowed to enter in the military. Now, this is being it's being rejected by a lot of people and seen as something negative. It's like, why are you not allowing people that are just like us to not enter into the military? And I have to push back on this. I was in a whole room yesterday. You guys know I tend to enjoy conversations with other people on specific audio apps. And I had to say it, even though it's the ugly truth. The reason why a lot of conservatives, people like me, people with common sense, are agreeing with Trump on this is because transgenderism is a disease. It is, and it's a contagious disease. So allowing this community of people to go and fight for our country is at stake. It's not good. You would never send a sick person to go fight. It's the same thing. And you could be like, no, it's not. And yes, it is. I have never seen a transgender person that was right in the mind, completely right. There was always something a little off about them. And that is just very telling to me. That just proves my point even more. They are mentally ill. They need to seek help. They need to be in a mental facility, not fighting for our country. Anybody who is sick needs to be in a mental facility. But the fact that we normalize this is a problem. And again, also proves my points how contagious a sickness is. When everybody has the sickness, everybody thinks it's normal, right? They think that's just the way of life. And it's not. We need to dead this disease, and this is the first step, guys. This is the first step. Think about this. If you are confused about what body you're supposed to be in, how are you going to know how to fight for our country in the best way possible? How are you going to know what's right and wrong when going into battle and, your other people's lives are at stake? Not just you. You have to, be there for your fellow fighters, fellow people in the army, right? And if you have a disease, if you're confused, if your mind is not 100% there, that's a problem. In instances like this, it's very high pressure situations, life or death situations, and you need to be fully there in order to maneuver, in order to get the best outcome. So I'm 100% behind this. And for people that aren't, again, proving my point even more, you're a part of the sickness, you're a part of the problem. The fact that, this topic was brought up in this room and all we could talk about is what determines a man from a woman. I'm just like, are we really having this conversation in 2025? Like, we're supposed to be moving forward as a country, not going backwards. People in 1965 knew what a woman was. Why are we having this conversation now? This is insane. I literally asked a woman, I asked her, I was like, what is your definition of a woman? And she could not give the definition without using the word woman. It's like, no, there is no word in the dictionary that uses the word to explain what the word is. Nobody would look up words. If every definition was just using the word that they're looking up as a definition, no one would know what any word meant. No one would know what any word meant. I had to break it down to her. A woman is an adult human female with a vagina. A girl is a child female with a vagina. Simple as that. Female means you can produce offspring, not create it with semen and it grows. No, produce it, meaning give birth. Men cannot do that. Trans men cannot do that. I don't get why we have to break this down, guys. Again, a disease delusion, and people love to hound me. Maybe my delivery is harsh, but understandably so. The fact that common sense is seen as an attack or seen as offensive, it's mind-boggling. It's offensive to us as a country. It's especially offensive to me. It should be offensive to people saying this, witnessing this. But there were so many people in there, and you gotta understand, people have different situations. You never know. They're raised a certain way. That's why, they might believe they're born in a different body. You never know what someone's going through. You know what that sounds like to me? An excuse. That's like saying someone who grew up with an abusive father is allowed to abuse others because of his upbringing. That is no freaking excuse if you grew up with a harsh mother, or if you grew up with a mother who gave birth to you but then transitioned as a man. No. You need to resist the trend of this happening. You need to maneuver in the world, find your true self, figure it out. Life is hard, but you gotta figure it out. You don't use your parents as an example. You don't use your upbringing as an example, your environment as an example. You move out of it. It was interesting. I was just talking in a room this morning. They were talking about how, speaking improper English, is also a testament to where they come from. You never know. And I'm like, no, we have and someone even brought up slavery, and I debunked that real quick, because I was like, back in the day, I hate when people bring up slavery, and it's always black people that bring up slavery to justify things that are happening today. Back in the day, they could not learn English. They could not get educated. They got whipped if they got educated. And some people did it in despite, because knowledge is power, right? We live in 2025. We have every resource on our phones, in our communities, to learn proper English. There's no excuse for that. If you're using improper grammar, that is it's a choice that you're willing to make. To make it seem like they don't have a choice because of their environment, that doesn't work in 2025. That worked back then, and even they found a way. They snuck books. They had meetings in secret with white people that also thought slavery was wrong. They figured out a way, and they had no resources other than that. They didn't have the internet. So miss me with that BS, and the same goes for transgenderism and allowing them in the military. The goalpost was being moved so many times in this conversation. I can't even count how many times. It was getting so frustrating where I had to woo-saw the girl named Diana. She was like, Danielle, it's okay. I love Diana. She's very good at communicating. This woman, Diana, she's very good at communicating and keeping the peace. Got to give it kudos to her. But it's frustrating. Like I said, it's frustrating when people don't. It's one thing to debate opinions, but you can't debate facts, right? People are like, oh, it's like your way, they're the highway. No, I'm speaking about facts. You're over here debating if a man can get pregnant. Whenever can a man get pregnant? Showed a video of a trans man getting pregnant. Keyword trans. That's a woman. That person was born female. Get the F out of here. There is no debating that. I obviously know people have different opinions. I speak on this show. I say I love to hear you guys' opinions. It gives me different perspective. And even if I don't agree with it, some of y'all have valid opinions. But what we're not going to do is conflate opinion with fact. What we're not going to do is have me join in with your sickness in order to make you feel better about the conversation. You're not going to make me say I'm sick just because you're sick. Sorry, not sorry. The fact that also like the gay community was thrown in here, and again, it's also a sin. We were talking about, I hate bringing religion into it, but obviously you guys know I'm a Christian, and I hate bringing it into a conversation because obviously I know everybody isn't a Christian, right? But they were talking about how gay people are one sin, and that's not being banned in the military. Again, they're not changing who they are. They're just realizing they might be attracted to the same sex, which again is against my belief. But it's not a delusion. It's not a forced lifestyle. You don't see the gay community out rah-rahing about we need equal rights and all this other stuff like transgenders are. They're not forcing their preferences on us. They're just living their, most of them, I won't say all, but I speak majorities here, you guys know this, are just doing what they do in their personal life, and it is what it is. It's a preference in who they want to sleep with, not a mental illness for me. Yes, I think they might have some issues, but it's not to the extreme. It's not as much of an extreme level as, being transgender. Another point was also brought up. Dang, I forgot the term, but it was a term that was used that talked about people being born with both body parts, like a vagina and a penis, I guess. Right? Hermaphrodite. That's what it was. And I was just like, how often? It's so funny how they love to use the exception as the rule. How many of hermaphrodites are being born every day? How many of them are entering in the military specifically? Let's start there. We are talking about people joining the military. Someone brought up their cousin who is one of these. I was like, is your cousin joining the military? Do they have any desire to eventually go in the military? No. Then why are you bringing it up? It's just the need to be right is crazy. And the moment I said that, you were like, oh, we're not needing to be right. We're just giving perspective. You're so harsh. But it is, because you bring up things that aren't relevant for what? For what other reason other than to be right? I'm not saying you're wrong, but you're not saying you're wrong either, and you are. And this is, the behavior. I really like to peep people's behavior when they speak about these things, the way they're communicating and how they respond to certain things I say, other people say to disagree with them. It's so ugly. Like the moment I didn't know what I literally said, I don't know what a hermaphrodite is. Educate me. And before I said that, this girl came out. She probably don't even know what that is. Well, don't belittle me. Educate me. It's always a personal attack when their attack on the point is not as valid as they think they are. They just go straight for the personal attacks. It's like, girl, you don't know a lot of things I mentioned either, but I'm not gonna call you out on it. I'm gonna ask if you want to be educated, or just speak on it so you can be educated. I'm not going to hound you. I'm not. Maybe if you were speaking on it and you didn't know anything about it, and I hate that when people speak on things they don't know. But I wasn't speaking on things I don't know. I had never brought up these certain people. Someone asked me a question if I knew who they were, and I was like, no. Educate me. And then she explained later, it was a different girl that asked me the question versus the girl that came off mic said she probably doesn't even know. It's an ugly attitude. My point is, it's an ugly attitude. All these people that think that this is a problem, again, are part of the sickness, and the way they treat other people shows that. It's sickening, it's disgusting, and nobody of substance, of self-respect wants to be around those type of people. And same goes for transgender people. Y'all are just as sick. Y'all are just as effed up. I really believe, if you ask me, there should be like some type of test to, determine someone's character before they go into the military. Forget transgender, gay, whatever. It should be like, what type of person are you? I don't think it can really be a written test. I think it'd have to be a verbal one. And I know that takes time. But I feel like it would save us so much heartache and headache. Because if I can learn your character by asking the right questions and determine if you should get into the military or not, versus how you respond to things, how you handle pressure, how you control your emotions, how are you selfish, all these things I could determine in this list of questions. Oh my gosh, how much we would be having the best people fight for us only. We would have the best people, the people that are not selfish, the people that can take criticism without getting bent out of shape, the people that, care about others. That would be amazing if you asked me the ideal situation. But again, I know that takes time and resources, but I think we have them. But the thing is, I can't do it myself. But if I was offered, what a job. What a job. Pardon me, I didn't mean to say I can't do it myself. It's not a thing, so that's why I'm saying I can't do it myself. But if I was offered, ooh, give me that opportunity. Give me that opportunity. I would take it. So, with all this being said, and guys, this video of this trans man giving birth, they literally showed this trans man getting birth on camera. It was the most uncomfortable thing to watch because this trans man literally said she felt like a man when giving birth. And my question is, how do you feel like a man giving birth when men do not give birth? Really ask you that. How do you feel like a man when no man knows what that feels like in that moment? Like what? Again, and the pushback is always, you don't know. Everybody has different situations. I asked this person who asked this dumb question. I was like, have you ever felt like a man? Oh, I'm asking a woman this. I was like, have you ever felt like a man? You just were doing something. You were like, oh, I feel so much like a man. I won't say masculine because there are some masculine women out here, but like a man, like a born man. You felt like it in the moment. And she was like, no. She's like, that's my own personal experience. No, it doesn't exist. Anybody that's saying that is making it up. They're making it up. She felt like this trans man felt like a woman, but needed to say she felt like a man to justify her sex change, or actually not sex change because she still had the female parts in order to give birth. So yeah, it's just to say it so she doesn't look like a hypocrite. She feels better about herself, doing something that women do, that females do. It's not a different feeling. It's not valid. Feelings are invalid. Feelings are only valid maybe in intimate relationships and with family. But when it comes to things like our military, when it comes to things that are happening in the world, feelings are irrelevant. Who gives a dang what you feel like? What is happening in front of you? What is facts? Facts over feelings. Right? I could feel like I'm a butterfly, but guess what? I'm not going to go around saying I'm a butterfly. Because I know how crazy that sounds. Or I am a butterfly, pardon me. I don't get why that can be seen as crazy, but not this. Not people saying I'm a whole different gender because God put me in the wrong body. That's the last thing I'm going to talk about, guys. Whether you believe in God or not, do you think whoever is over the higher up, the person who's over the universe would really be that cruel and allow you to enter this world as the wrong gender? Do you really believe that? And everybody that makes that argument also, it says like, God made me this way to be a transgender, but also blame God for making them also blame God for putting them here in the wrong body. I'm like, which one is it? Did God make a mistake or didn't he? Every time these arguments are made, they contradict themselves. It's so crazy to watch because it's like, how can you not see your own hypocrisy? One thing is okay for something, another thing is not okay for another thing, and you say one thing about God, but another thing about God, it's like, wait, what? You can't say this about God and then say this about God? You don't pick and choose what Bible verses work for you and which ones don't. That was another thing that was happening in the room, but I had to say, that was when I was woosahing. I had to stay mute because it's been a minute since I've read the Bible. We were talking about Sodom and Gomorrah. And they were bringing up specifics. I don't know all the specifics of that. Obviously, I know about the situation, but they were going in depth. And I'm somebody who doesn't like to speak on things that I don't 100% know or feel like I know pretty much what's happening. So, yeah, to try to use religion again, to excuse this type of behavior. Like, oh, the golden one. Oh my gosh, this same woman, Diana, that I actually love the way she speaks, but she was crazy with this point. She was like, how can you be mad at someone living their life when God maybe come down and tell you to be like, no, accept them people and love them people. I said, God would never say that. What are you talking about? God wouldn't be like, oh yeah, no, excuse their behavior, even though they're transitioning into a different gender that I recently gave them. It's okay. God would never say that. Like, what? Why would you even ask? These what ifs are so irrelevant. People love to bring what ifs into a situation when they know in reality that's never going to happen. But if they say what if in front of it, it's like, oh, it's a possibility. I said what if. No, it's delusion. It's invalid. Because God would never say that. Any true Christian would know that. Any true Catholic, and so on and so forth. But again, these audio rooms, I don't know. People are saying, I don't know if they're this daft. I think it's for content. I think it might be a little bit performative. So that's why I'm going to, entertain this for their content, because they love when I clap back, because again, it's content. It gets the people going, right? But I more so want to talk about it here with you guys, right? Because a lot of you guys, y'all are who you are. Y'all are not performing for anybody, and I'm not performing for you guys. So this is a thing right here. So, yeah. Ooh, guys, that question mind boggled me. Last story. I just thought about it. I'm sorry. I know I said the other thing was going to be the last thing. I just thought about this. So there's a story in the Bible that I know very well where this woman committed a sin. Obviously, I guess I don't know that very well because I don't know which exact sin she did commit. But I remember she was about to get stoned for the sin by a bunch of men. It looked like men and women, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, Jesus comes around and he says, without sin cast the first stone. Right? I'm paraphrasing here. But basically that he who has never sinned, you can throw the first stone. And everybody puts their stones down and walks away. And then he goes to the woman and says, you're forgiven, go and sin no more. Or maybe he doesn't say you're forgiven, but he forgives her. And he says, go and sin no more. The fact that story was brought up to try to defend the point where, that, transgender isn't maybe a sin, but we're all with sin. So it's like, no. First off, he says, go and sin no more. When you're living a transgender lifestyle, that's every day you're choosing to sin. Every day. Second point, we're acknowledging it's a sin. Right? I asked him, I was like, wait, so you think this is a sin? And he kind of pushed back. It was a man that said this. He was like, yeah, but he was so hesitant. It was so funny. You just gotta ask. I tell people, I was like, you just gotta ask the right questions, and you put people in the corner every time. They think they can get away with saying certain things because it may sound good or whatever. But the moment you ask one good question, their whole statement is debunked. They're like so lost on what to say next. Their mind are scrambling for a way out of you putting them in a corner. He's like, yeah, it's a sin, but it's like, how could I be mad at somebody sinning when I commit sins? Okay, every sin should be condemned. Every sin should be condemned. Yes, we all sin, but that shouldn't be like, okay, just because we all do something bad. We should be punished for doing something bad. It should be called out. That was a grace period that God gave her, but she 100% deserved punishment for what she did. And mind you, that was a murder. They were going to kill her. We don't want transgenders to die. We don't want the end of their existence. We just don't want them fighting in our military. Someone came back and was like, that is killing them, not allowing them to be free in this world. Get the F out of here. I cannot. with people's way of thinking and just saying stuff to be right. We are not killing them off. Like, stop the cap. We are not killing them mentally. What? Again, if that's killing you off, you're gonna die way sooner than me saying something about that, because it's a tough world out here, people. People are so soft, and it's so it's so ugly. I'm like, get some balls. And it's men being soft. There were women in there, but the men, I'm like, what the heck? Who told you it was cute to be this way? It's not. It's not. So, I say all this to say, guys, it is a mental illness. Transgender people are mentally unwell, whether you want to believe it or not. Every story that was brought up in this room I was in, everything I've encountered in my personal life, everything I've seen on social media, mainstream media, they're all lunatics. At the end of the day, you wouldn't want them around your little girl or little boy. So again, stop being outraged when they're not allowed to enter in the military, but not being outraged when they're around your kid. Or pardon me, it's like we're saying we don't want them in their military, but you don't want them around their kids. It's equal to me. That makes sense, pardon me. People that are outraged that are around their kid. You should be just as outraged about them entering in the military. Because just as impressionable as they are for little kids, they're impressionable for adults. This room proved that. History has proved that. The present is proving that. And Donald Trump just wants to nip that in the bud. He doesn't want anybody else to be sick. He wants to end this epidemic. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually admirable. And that's all I gotta say about that. All right, guys, please like this video. If you like this video, please comment always. I love to hear you guys' opinions. I just ask that you keep it respectful because I am always respectful, okay? And subscribe if you haven't already. Turn that notification bell on if you haven't as well, so you don't miss an episode. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Aquel día el instinto nos decía que esa noche juntico no quería, que las ganas bebé nos ganaría, pero no fue así. Vamos lento, ya, que si nos apuramos no disfrutamos del momento, ya, y lo vamos a arruinar. Dale lento, ya, dile a tus amigas que hoy no vas para afuera, que estás en la escuela y vamos a jugar. Ella sabe que quiero a mi mamacita. Ella también quiere que seamos felices. Ella, la que se apresura a la vueltica. Ella es sin timidez. Como la ven, no le importa dónde y cuándo. Pero nada no he hecho, no soy el que la mando. Nunca lo seré, su carácter no es de niña, que la puede controlar cualquiera. Y me encanta, yo lo sé, independiente. Vamos lento y verás, y me encanta, yo lo sé, independiente. Vamos lento y verás. Vamos lento, ya, que si nos apuramos no disfrutamos del momento, ya, y lo vamos a arruinar. Dale lento, ya, dile a tus amigas que hoy no vas para afuera, que estás en la escuela y vamos. Los 7 días de la semana te doy de mañana y consejos sabes que no es. Te doy el desquite, que me quites todas esas ganas que te nos saturamos, no disfrutamos